This message is for somebody hiding from your own power, okay? Hiding your own regality, your own ability to overcome. You show up afraid and even uncomfortable with that power and the level of power that you have, especially to put certain energies in their place, even to say it like it is, to give it real. And I'm hearing disservice, so I feel like you're doing a disservice to yourself and everybody, the world, by hiding this power. It feels like you've convinced yourself to stay small so that you can stay feeling safe. And it's like it's time for new associations to what safety is and what it means. Because staying small and disservicing yourself and everybody else, everyone else involved, that's not it. Not anymore anyways. 55 sticking out to 3 sticking out. For some of you, this can be a wake-up call, a call that you've been getting to change a habit, to overcome something, to shift something that you know you want to, something that's calling for your willpower. And please be careful with this message. Only take what resonates. This is not to put you in a trap of this is the only way, or perfectionism, or you're not enough, you're not doing enough, or you've been living wrong. It does not mean this. It does not imply this. And some of you are serious overthinkers. I'm hearing OCD, and you need to really draw a line and use your powerful, beautiful discernment to understand the difference between it's time for you and everybody to answer the call versus like, oh, you're not living right, da 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 da, you need to be better. No. It's not this kind of thinking, okay? Now, you may have some guilt over the way you treated somebody or even an animal, some presence in your life that you felt was maybe not at the time, but now if you were to see, they would be more helpless than you or smaller than you or have a lesser position or say in life than you. And I'm actually feeling some really deeply harbored guilt, resentment towards self, some battles with anxiety, moral character, and judgment about the way you treated, okay? This energy, maybe multiple energies in your life. This could be, I'm getting like 7th grade, 8th grade. This could be a long time ago. It could also be present. It could anytime, but there's something you're harboring about this, okay? And I actually feel that's part of what's robbing in small, just in small, your positive relationship to power. Okay, because maybe you experienced power and have heard that power is this cruelty, this cruel thing. So you, to be a good person and somebody that you can agree with, you hold some of that back. You could be afraid of that power partly because you think it makes you a mean person, because that's how you've experienced it in one way or another. Could have even been flipped. That could have been done towards you. Could have been both. That could have been where you learned it, you know. But there's something about you needing to really understand and see this so that you can rewire that association. And rewiring doesn't have to be some crazy big thing. Yeah, there's some big time shadow about that subject for you. I'm hearing, but your power is important. We need it. I'm also hearing like ivory tower, ivory castle. Not sure what that means. I feel like you're having to, you're being in your power is like leaning into a stereotype or leaning into a label, leaning into something or many things that you were told were wrong, like that were shamed or shunned, or there's a whole package that comes with this of like you owning aspects of yourself that were disowned or told they needed to be disowned. And it's not just one thing, it's like multiple things, okay? Messages are so clear right now. It's like you do not need to feel ashamed or guilty or disowned or wrong or bad or heavy 414 for these past events, for these things anymore. Like, give yourself the same grace you would give a child in your circumstance, in your shoes. Learning process. Not defined by who you become. Like, out of power, but with it all. It's like by the whole, who you become with the whole picture intact. Can you face and continue to integrate these, let's say, shadows of your own self, of your own character, of your own morality and being? Morality? Yeah. Can you do that and still choose you know? Now, this is a detail that may not be for everybody, but I also am getting a very karmatic connection between you and an animal, okay? It could be a little bit of a smaller animal. And then you find that there's a second animal that's a bit bigger. This could also talk about spirit, okay? But for some reason, that's really sticking out to me in this image where it almost feels like there's some kind of karma that this little creature is helping you learn. And again, it can be metaphorical. It doesn't have to be an animal, but for some of you, it actually really is. And it's like a very complicated relationship. I'm also hearing pink robes. And what is that artist name? Chappelle Roan or Chappelle Rome, with the long red hair or long red orange. Now, I feel like give credit where credit is due, okay? You have freed and liberated yourself from so much. You are good at liberating yourself from habits, toxic situations, binding situations, bad habits, things that make it where you're not true to your heart or self, things that keep you stuck. You are good at change. Own it, accept it. You are able to do this well. Notice where you've done it so well. Sometimes we're very focused on, what is hard, and that's okay because that's part of shadow work, but we also need to acknowledge what is really working. Also, lots of paranormal extra energy in the room with us, okay, in your reading. I also feel like you really lifted yourself out of black hole energy, okay, so black hole sun, like sucking energy in through depression, through that negative vortex. You've really learned how to come through this and not sink under it anymore. It doesn't mean it never comes back, but you've done really well with this, and I feel like that's going to be a continued trend. I feel like this is part of you owning your power. So we're not here to say, oh, you're completely out of your power. No, it's not this. It's just the full extent. It's still on its way. It's still coming. Okay. I also feel like, again, when you're in your full power, there's been a reason sometimes. Okay, this is a really tricky message. There's been a reason you were mean sometimes. It does not mean that it was okay. It doesn't mean that somebody deserved it, whatever. But there was always a reason. And actually, sometimes you were mean to people because they were not okay. And you forgot this, or it's almost like you overcorrected. So then you were never mean to anybody and you let everybody in, and you had hardly any boundaries, and like everybody was amazing, and like, oh, if I feel this way towards them, you would act the opposite, and almost you would be fake without even meaning to be, just because you wanted to really be a good person and make up for, but that wasn't, that wasn't. And when you regain some of this power in this way, I feel like you will learn to be mean again when you need to be, or not even mean, because it's not about being a bully or being mean. It's like learning that like you have a good reason and a right to not like everybody, and to respond in certain circumstances, to stand up for yourself. And look at this image. Look at this image, okay? Especially for my girls here. Like, look at this. You know what I'm saying? And somehow she's right. Okay. Other thing I'm seeing, you've also overcome a lot of the fight, like the fight or flow. Like, you've learned to flow really well, and you actually have always been good with that. You've also transmuted and alchemized a shit ton of abuse, okay? Abusive energy, whatever you want to call that. Like, this kind of a vibe, especially that told you like, you've got to force, you've got to push, you've got to do this, you've got to be this way. You overcame a lot of this. So you've really, really been a fighter, a survivor, 933. I'm hearing a struggler, okay? You've done a lot here. You've released a ton here. You've overcome and risen up from a lot here. So integrating your power, the thing you're so afraid of, you can do this. You can absolutely do that. You're primed, prepped, and ready. All right. Now, if this feels like you and your energy and you're really resonating, we've got an extended reading. Please make sure that the title and image matches with the one that you're looking for. The link is in our bio. Thank you always. Or on YouTube, the link is below. TikTok in the bio, Instagram in the bio, YouTube below. Thank you always for being here, for your support. All the love to you, and hope to see you in the extended.